The Arizona sun pressed down fiercely on Miles Harrington's back. As he trekked along the meandering path, red sandstone structures towered grandly around him, their timeless surfaces shaped by endless years of breeze and downpour. He had been wandering these arid trails for 3 days now, cataloging native flora for his studies at the university. Thesalitude fit him well, just the scrape office boots on the rugged ground, and the occasional cry of a hawk soaring above. Miles stopped to marvel at the expansive scenery. Taking a gulp from his water flask, in the distance, construction machinery speckled the skyline where a luxury retreat was being built. He felt conflicted about the project. While it would create jobs for the region, it also mean more visitors, congestion, and less of the untouched wilderness he cherished. Miles shifted his backpack and pressed on a long trail. The midday warmth had driven moss-wooled life into hiding, making it an ideal moment to capture images of desert plants without interruptions. He was just reaching for his camera when a noise caught his ear, something between a gasp and a sob. Rounding a curve in the path, he saw her. A woman rested on the ground, her back against a boulder, blonde hair shining in sunlight. She wore hiking shorts and a white tank top, both dusted with a thin layer of desert grit. Even from afar, Miles could see the anguish etched on her face. "Hey, are you all right?" he shouted, hastening his steps. As he approached, her eyes, wide with terror, locked onto his snake. She forced out through clenched teeth, pointing to her leg. Miles knelt beside her, cautiously inspecting the small puncture marks on her calf to clear wounds. Already puffing up and circled by reddened skin, scattered green leaves lay around. As if she had been examining local flora when snake attacked. "When did this happen?" he asked, keeping his tone steady despite the pressing urgency of the situation. "Maybe 10 minutes ago," she answered, her breathing shallow. "I was studying the vegetation and didn't notice it until too late." Miles swiftly removed his backpack and reached for his first aid kit. "I'm Miles, a botanist, but I've had wilderness first aid training. Can you tell me your name?" "Olivia," she replied, wincing as a surge of pain swept over her. "Olivia Westbrook." Working carefully, Miles cleaned the wound and applied a pressure bandage, taking care not to wrap it too tightly. "From the marks and your symptoms, I'd guess it was a rattlesnake. We need to get you to a hospital as soon as possible." He helped Olivia sip water while he contacted emergency services. Describing their location and the situation, the dispatcher's voice crackled through the phone, explaining that the rugged terrain would delay an ambulance. A helicopter evacuation was necessary. At least 20 minutes away. Miles relayed this to her after hanging up. "How are you feeling?" "My leg's burning, and I'm getting dizzy," Olivia admitted, her voice fainter than before. Miles checked her pulse fast but stable. He knew keeping her calm was vital. "Tell me, what brought you out here alone?" he said, dabbing cool water on her brow. A faint smile crossed her lips. "Would you believe me if I said work? That's quite a workplace." Miles replied, motioning to the vast desert around them. "I wanted to see it myself, the environment. The plants," she explained, pausing to catch her breath, "not just reports and data." Miles nodded, continuing to monitor her condition while scanning the sky for the helicopter. The swelling had grown slightly, but the bandage was holding. "Are you from around here?" he asked, keeping that conversation alive. "No," Olivia said. "I'm from Chicago, just here for a bit." She suddenly grabbed his arm, her nails pressing into his skin. "Promise mess me thing." "Of course," Miles answered, alarmed by the intensity in her gaze. "Don't tell anyone who I am, please." Before Miles could probe her odd request, the distant thud of helicopter blades sliced through the air. Relief surged through him as the medical evacuation team arrived, swiftly moving Olivia onto a stretcher. One paramedic administered antivenom while another checked her vitals. "Will you come?" Olivia asked, reaching for Miles's hand as they prepared to lift her. The paramedic glanced at Miles. "There's room if you want to join her." Miles paused briefly before noting something about leaving her alone felt wrong. At the hospital, Miles waited in the hallway while doctors treated Olivia. Hours passed before a nurse told him Ms. Westbrook was stable and asking for him. When he entered her room, Olivia looked pale against the white hospital sheets, but the fear had faded from her eyes. The doctors say I'll fully recover, she said, thanks to your quick help. Miles shrugged, suddenly self-conscious. Anyone would have done the same. No, Olivia said firmly. Not everyone would. She paused, studying him. You never escaped we. I wanted my identity kept quiet. I figured you had your reasons. Miles replied. Olivia motioned for him to sit by her bed. That resort you likely saw buying Bwilt Westbrook Enterprises is behind it. I'm the CEO. Understanding hit Miles, the elusive billionaire developer. The locale papers had speculated about for months was right in front of him. I visit all or project sites in person, she continued, usually incognito. I like to experience Seath environment, understand what we trafficking. A thoughtful look crossed her face. I saw you photographing plants. You're studying the local ecosystem, Miles nodded. I'm documenting native species before the development alters theoria. For or against the resort, sheesh directly, cautious, Miles answered earnestly. Development is inevitable, Butte doesn't have to destroy. Olivia wassled for a moment. Our original plans included expanding the golf course into Theastern Canyon, she said finally, Butte after today, seeing those plants up close. Feeling the land, she shook her head. Some places should stay untouched. Miles couldn't hide his surprise. You're altering the plans? Let's say I'm open to changes, Olivia said with a small smile. And I could use a botanical consultant who knows the area, someone who values preservation as much as progress. Outside the hospital window, the desert sunset painted the sky in vibrant orange and pink. Miles thought about the countless species he'd catalogued, the delicate ecosystem that had thrived for millennia. And now, unexpectedly, he had a chance to suffigurate it. I'd be interested, he said slowly, very interested. Olivia extended her hand, and Miles took it gently, mindful of the IV line. A snake bite wasn't on my schedule today, she said with a wry smile. But sometimes the most meaningful discoveries come when we least expect them. As their hands lingered a moment longer than needed, Miles realized she might not be speaking only of the desert. Sometimes, even in the harshest landscapes, life finds unexpected ways to connect and thrive.